Welcome back to another episode of Residual Earners. You are in for another treat today, guys. We have Presley here, and we have
Reagan.
And guys, let's start over. This camera isn't working.
No, we're just doing this.
So we're just doing that one. So I
Yeah.
need to be looking over that way. Okay, let's start over.
You could look over that way, or you could still
Well, I'm going to talk to you some, and then I'll look at that camera, because that way, if that one's not going, then there's no need for me to stare. That way I look awkward.
No, but it does look natural because we do the wide angle videos. So when you're talking, if you really just, you can look over there, but it will look natural even if you look over there.
Okay, I'll look both ways, but okay, now I know what I'm doing. Welcome back to another episode of Residual Earners. You are in for a treat today. I'm Presley, and this is
Reagan.
Oh my gosh, my superstar co-star. I'm excited that Reagan's with us today. And, guys, we're going to cover a topic that I teach all the time, and that is find some mentors in your life. And we're going to go over kind of separate generations. I know we look the same age, but I mean, I am a little bit older. Can you all believe that? I'm a little bit older than Reagan is, but we're going to go over different generations and some of our mentors and who has taught us some stuff. You know, not necessarily mentors that are family or close friends, but mentors that we've just got to know, maybe through TV or social media or going to conferences, stuff like that. But we're going to do that. So, Reagan, I'm going to start off with Jim Rohn.
Okay.
Jim Rohn.
Cool.
I got to hear Jim Rohn talk, and, I'm going to give you just a couple of tidbits. I wrote a couple of tidbits down here. Here's a couple of his quotes, okay? Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. If you don't like how things are, you're not a tree. Change it. I love that one. I use that all the time on my lives. And I can just see people, I was on this live today, and some dude told me I'm not a tree. I mean, I look at that. But if you don't like how things are, change it. You're not a tree. I love that one of Jim Rohn. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. Man, I work on that one all the time and teach that one all the time. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Now, I could go on and on. I wrote a bunch of his quotes down, but, Jim Rohn was just so down to earth, just so, it was just common sense stuff that you sit there and you think about it a little bit and you go, wow, that's spot on. I mean, he is absolutely right about that stuff. So if you have a chance, go back. Jim Rohn passed a few years ago, and it was a sad day, but go back, look at some YouTube videos and watch some Jim Rohn stuff. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. I use a lot of his stuff in my training. Love Jim Rohn. I still go back and watch his videos all the time. I'm still learning, and he hadn't been with us for a few years.
Yeah. I didn't really know much of Jim Rohn until you, because I didn't.
Right.
There's a lot of some of these old coaches and philanthropists and authors that will probably have similarities, but I definitely learned a lot of the new people because of some of the things that you say in your quotes, and you refer to these individuals, and I've gone back and listened. I'm like, this is really good. This is really good.
Even if they are old, they're really good, huh?
Yeah. Hey, they may be old, but I feel like the things that they teach are timeless and important, even today.
Yes, absolutely. All right, your turn.
Okay, so I'm a little bit I think because of the phase I'm in, I'm really inspired by content creators. I will say, one of my favorite podcasters is Ed Milet, and I think we'll share that interest.
Amen.
Ed Milet is incredible. He's the one that does The Power of One, and he brings in so many different people on his podcast from so many different walks of life. He's a believer, so I love him. So we share that interest. Ed Milet's amazing. I think one of my top podcasts, between him and Mel Robbins and Jay Shetty podcasts, and I know that's like my big three. As far as anything about life and love and motivation, and they do a lot of episodes on like stuff around psychology, I think those are great. But for where I'm at right now, I've been kind of following a lot of content creators. One of them, which some people might know, some people might not like him, but I really like Aman Gadzhi.
Yep.
So Aman Gadzhi is this young guy who's built, I mean, a massive empire. I believe he's built schools and stuff, but not school SKOOL, but actual schools in other countries. But he's a content creator, and he started his journey off of YouTube. And I think I ran into one of his videos, man, like maybe a year ago, where he's telling you, some content creation tips or how he got started. And of course, he used like how he got started versus how he is now. And, you just have a kid that's kind of got acne and they look a little awkward. And he's got his little camera up like this and nothing crazy, right? To the transition of now he's got his, whatever cars. He's got his Rolls Royce and the life he's living now. But he has a beautiful story of what his why was. And what he has done, from what I believe, is he started creating content. And he bought a camera, and he just started filming his life, like how to do this, how to get to this. And once he started making some money, he's like, how you can make $10K a month. And then it just started growing from there. But he did not start with the best tools. He wasn't this crazy looking, good looking guy in the suit. He was like the awkward kid. And all that he learned to do was just to be consistent and create content. And now he's one of the top content creators in the world. I would argue he's one of the best YouTuber content creators in the world. Even compared to Mr. Beast, I think Aman Gadzhi is rising pretty fast. And I think all those guys kind of started the same. Alex Hormozi, Aman Gadzhi, we'll talk about the others, Mr. Beast. But they all started off just with a camera and not caring about what people think.
Well, I think Aman started off more with solid content that can actually help people a little more than like Mr. Beast, and I like him, but his was more contests and flashy things. I'm giving away $100,000, and he had got a lot of followers doing that kind of stuff. So I think they were different styles totally.
Yeah. Do you know what Mr. Beast's very first YouTube video is? It's him playing Minecraft. I went and looked. I looked at all these guys. I'm like, what did you look like when you started? And I did this because everybody starts from somewhere. All three guys that are my top three as far as content creators, you go down to their first videos ever, you're looking at it and you're like, what was that? What was that? I can't imagine the amount of hate comments they got from their friends and family just because they were probably like, what are you doing? But that proves to show that it doesn't matter. You just got to get started.
No, and, an example of that, Reagan, if you go back and look at Residual Earners, our first, maybe it was our first 2 or 3, I can't remember exactly, but I know our first one, we were in Jordan's office, my son, we were in his office. He had got some cheap lights, and they had a green tint to them. And we had these cheap cameras, these cheap microphones, and it looked like a couple of Martians sitting there talking because we had this green haze on us. And, I look back and just shake my head. And, obviously now we got this studio and we got all these high-dollar cameras and these neon signs and all this stuff. But we just gradually walked our way up until to this. But, I guess we started the same way. Now, I'm not putting myself in the class. Reagan and I are not where Mr. Beast is and all that stuff. But we have come a long way, I guess is my point there.
Yeah, you're Mr. Swag.
That's me. I had swag before swag was popular. Huh?
You did.
I did. All right, here we go. I'll go to mine now. And this is Zig Ziglar. So I went Jim Rohn, now Zig Ziglar. Zig, I had the pleasure of getting to know. I went to church with Zig Ziglar. Get this, his Sunday school class, you'll appreciate the name of his Sunday school class. It was called the Overcomers class, which if you know Zig Ziglar and how much he wanted to help people, he believed everybody could overcome whatever, and that was the name of his Sunday school class. But let me just rattle off a couple of his quotes. One of them that I really love, he'd always go, You know, money's not the most important thing, but it's up there real close to oxygen. I mean, you know, he knew and he was kidding there because he loved the Lord, and the good Lord was first, family was second, health was third, money was fourth. I get that, but he would always say that money's not the most important thing, but it's up there real close to oxygen. Another thing he said is people often say that momentum doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. You know, I love that. We need motivation. We need momentum. We need stuff like that every day to get us going. He would also say your attitude, not your aptitude, will ultimately determine your altitude. For you guys that are listening here and you watch my lives, you're going to hear a bunch of the stuff that I talk about because I got it from Jim Rohn. I got it from Zig Ziglar. Another one he says is you can have everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. Boy, there's truth to that, guys. There is so much truth to that. Positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking. Man, love Zig. Love Zig. It's not what happens to you that determines how far you will go in life. It is how you handle what happens to you. And I mean, I wrote down a bunch of his other quotes, but you know, Zig Ziglar was a godly man. The world lost a great motivational speaker when he died, but it lost a better person. Zig was amazing, and I am just thankful I got to hear him talk a lot of times. Got to hear him do Sunday school classes and preach and do all kinds of stuff. And man, what influence he had on my life, because I guess if I said I'm taking my style after somebody, it would probably be Zig Ziglar.
And what a name.
Oh, Zig Ziglar.
I never forgot that name because the first time I heard it, I was like, this isn't their real name. This isn't the real name. I worked for an attorney, and he was in the Zig Ziglar stuff, and I think one of his clients may have been Tom Ziglar, his son. So
Yep.
whenever I heard Zig Ziglar, I was like, that's not real.
No, that's a
not real.
stage name.
Even when I heard your name, Swagerty, that's not real. Like, he just wants to have some swag. So what a name. But I feel like that, you know, you guys just like, you have a brand. Your name is your brand too, and it's just like you were kind of meant to be in the positions you were because you have even down to the name stands out. But I'll make a comment on the money comment you made that he said it's close to oxygen. I had a teacher in high school say one thing to me, and I've never forgotten it. They said, money isn't the key to happiness, but boy, does it sure help. And I never forgot that because I'm like, money isn't everything, but having it sure does help. It sure helps your life. And yeah, it's not everything, but it can make you happy. It can make everything feel better. What's the number one driver for divorce? Money.
Yeah, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, my story is I grew up dirt poor, and that's the truth. I mean, dirt poor. Mom worked in a sewing factory, so I've tried it with no money, and I've tried it with quite a bit of money. And, I mean, I'll be the first to tell you that money is not what makes you happy, but it sure is a whole lot better when you got something. So,
Yeah.
you know, I highly recommend, you know, that we get out there and we grow as a person and we do some things to make us some money. Does it fix all your problems? Nope, sure doesn't. But does it fix a lot of them? It sure does. So, anyway, your turn, Reagan.
Okay, well, I had actually ChatGPT break down like the core focuses of all my top 3 to help me. And something I want to mention on the Iman Gadzhi, if you guys don't know, like we talked about him a little bit, but this is what he's known for. He's known for building a multi-million-dollar education empire through a company called Agency Navigator and Gadzhi Education. His messaging is kind of anti-mainstream, escape the matrix type of content, kind of similar to Andrew Tate, but he's not as, you know, he doesn't take the
Not as out there.
Yeah, doesn't take like that masculine route. He's not going to tell you that you need to get a hot girlfriend to run a business, but he kind of follows that escape the matrix theme. He targets mostly men, which is funny because I love him. So a lot of his stuff, I think because he runs a social media management agency and because I'm aware of like how he's been able to grow as a content creator, I love his content. And then his personal branding is combined luxury with discipline-based messaging. That is something that he talks about, is how to stay disciplined. If you need inspiration to stay disciplined, Iman Godzi has a lot of stories behind that. I mean, I think he got started at 17 years old or something, and he just never quit. He's in his mid-20s, and he's a multimillionaire, but he stayed consistent and very disciplined. So the next creator I want to talk about is Mr. Beast. So Mr. Beast is number one. I actually just got done watching Beast Games not too long ago, and I'm sitting here going, this man has just got buckets of money. Like, this is wild. But his core focus, if you guys know, it's entertainment stunts. Like you said, he does these crazy videos doing giveaways. His style and strategy, because I want everybody to kind of know the difference, is to shock, scale, retain, and then reach globally. So he got popular because of the shock factor, because you'd watch his video and go, this is crazy. But like we just talked about, he started off making Minecraft videos. And that's something I want to talk about, guys, is when you're starting off, like, obviously have something in mind. I don't know if he did, but eventually he found out what worked for him. But you need to just get started. You need to get comfortable being on camera and posting a video. Like, it's taking me a while to get comfortable. This may not be like forever, though. I'm probably won't be nervous forever. Like, I get a little nervous still on these podcasts, but then I'm totally comfortable while we're doing it. But there was a time a few months ago that I was even nervous.
I had to drag her on the set the first couple of times.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And now I'm like, let's go. I'll get a little bit of butterflies and then they go away. But the more you do it, the better it gets. So all these guys just got started, and I promise you, if you look back at their first videos, you'll be going, what the heck is this? And understand that these individuals got hate too. And also understand that these are kids. Like, Iman Godzi and Mr. Beast, who his real name is Jimmy. It says Jimmy Donaldson, which I didn't know his last name. So Jimmy Donaldson. They're young kids, and they probably may not have been through some bullying or hate or have gone through life as much as others to have that confidence to get past it. But they did. They got past it, and they've been able to build massive empires for themselves. So Mr. Beast, you guys know him. He's got you've either seen him on Beast Games, maybe you have seen his crazy YouTube, giveaways and contests. Maybe you see Feastables inside of the grocery store. I don't know if you know this. But
Oh,
he's
yeah.
got, like, I think a chocolate bar brand, and then he's a competitor to what's those packets?
Lunchables.
He made Feastables, and I don't know if it's an extension of Lunchables, but he's got energy drinks. He's been able to expand. So you've probably seen him or one of his products somewhere. But he's known for his massive viral challenges and giveaways. That's what we've talked about. He does a lot of philanthropy work. He was able to scale to 400 million subscribers. He's built brands like Feastables, Beast Burger, and Mr. Beast Games, which we've talked about. The way he did it was just his shock factor, his high cost content. So he invested, his approach was, once he started making money, he reinvests all of his money into a lot of these crazy videos that you see. So he invests a lot on his content creation to make sure they still have that shock factor. But one of the videos I've seen recently of him is he was like, yeah, I don't have money. And this girl was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, I don't have a lot of money. I actually had to borrow money to do something that he was doing. And it's funny because if you're in business or around business owners, you know that just because they don't have cash doesn't mean that they don't have money. He has invested every single dollar into his businesses or whatever he's doing so that he can continue his projects. But Mr. Beast is somebody that I think found a way to create content that aligns with the things that he likes. He did it with all of his best friends, so he just got started. He was someone that found something that he was passionate about. He didn't care about the haters, and he still was able to, he noticed and paid attention to what people liked about him, and then he scaled from there. So he had realized, man, people like when I do these crazy challenges, so I'm not going to veer away from this as far as my brand. Still today, that's why you have the Beast Games. I mean, he is not going to stray away from what he's known for. So he's not going to be Mr. Beast and then be like, Mr. I don't know, calm, cool, collected guy that does this. Like, he knows that what he's known for, and I think that's so important. It's why I like him so much, is he takes what people like, he takes what he's known for and what people like him for, and he just continues to expand and expand and expand, which is pretty cool.
Something about him that caught my attention was I was watching some of his videos, and he says that his best videos are when he doesn't say anything. Like, one of his videos, he was running. In another video, he's just running, carrying bags of money, and doesn't say a word, just running, carrying bags of money. And I mean, it had like 10 million views or something. I mean, it was crazy. And I was thinking, how can I use that in what we do? And I'm thinking, I don't think I can do that, because what I do is, I'm trying to change your mindset, and I don't know how I could just be running and think I could change your mindset. But I thought that was interesting, that the videos he said that have the most views are ones where he doesn't talk.
Well, if I told you, which is what I think people should pay attention to, if I told you, let's say we've known each other for years, and I'm not an expert, I'm not a top YouTuber or anything, like, I'm just, imagine this, and I go to you and I say, hey, Presley, man, I have this idea. I think I'm going to create YouTube content, and I'm going to, like, light stuff on fire and run around with fake money bags, and just do funny stuff to make people laugh. I think I can become a millionaire. Like, initially, if we're not in the space, if you weren't a content creator, would you be like, man, you're going to act like a hooligan on the internet and you're going to become a millionaire? Like, yes, that's going to happen. You'd probably be like, huh? What are you going to do? I'm just going to act crazy. I'm going to be dumb with my friends, and I'm going to post YouTube content.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to make me a millionaire. You'd probably be like, maybe you should do something else. Like, I've heard from...
Kind of like Dude Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Just act crazy, doing crazy stuff.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. So it's people will give you advice all day long. Well, maybe you should do this, and maybe you should do that, and your content is not this, and your content is not that. I mean, look at the top content creators. Look at the Logan and Jake Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys were dumb. I don't know if you remember Vine.
Yep.
But, okay, Vine.
Okay, I'm going to even go back further. How about if 30 years ago, I came to you and I said, listen, we're going to get some plastic bottles and put water in it, and then we're going to sell it for $3 or $4. Did you say you're just going to put some water in a plastic bottle and we're going to sell it for $3 or $4? You're crazy. But now we all buy water in plastic bottles for $3 or $4, and it runs free in the ditch in front of the house. But we pay high dollar. We pay more for sometimes a bottle of water than we would if we were buying oil or whiskey or something. I mean, it's crazy.
Okay, now let's fast forward to let's say just 5 years ago. What if I told you that I'm going to take that same water in a plastic bottle, I'm going to put it into an aluminum can, and I'm going to call it Liquid Death? What do you think? Would you tell me
no, that ain't working? You're nuts.
A $700 million company?
Oh, yeah. In other words, guys, think outside the box, baby. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Oh, is it my turn? I mean, is it my turn? I forgot. We get to go in here. As you can tell, we have fun doing this.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. My next one is going to be Les Brown. Some of you guys know Les Brown. He's the guy that always says, you got to be hungry. And, Zig Ziglar, I probably got more of my material from Zig and then Jim Rohn. But I think Les Brown and I think our styles are very similar. And I was speaking in Las Vegas, as a matter of fact, at a big Eric Worre event, and there's thousands of people there. And I looked at the run of show, and I am following Les Brown. And I'm thinking, oh, my gosh. But it ended up going great, and I got lots of comments. But, I mean, I was just in awe of Les Brown, and I got to know Les, and he's a great guy. But anyway, here's a couple of Les Brown. And y'all are going to be going, Man, you got all your quotes from Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar and Les Brown and all this. But anyway, y'all will recognize some of these, not all of them, but some of them that I use. You have greatness within you. Les says that all the time. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land on the stars. Well, I kind of turned it around and said, shoot for the stars, and if you miss, you'll land on the moon. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we're living our fears. Woo, there's a good one for you, huh? Feel the fear and do it anyway. Come on, baby. You were born to win. Oh, get this one. Because I always talk about we don't accidentally win here. We don't accidentally win, Reagan. Here's the deal. You were born to win, but to be the winner you were born to be, you must plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win. I got to start using that one more because I love that one. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. I talk about that stuff all the time. So, Les Brown, I love Les Brown. Amazing man. I came from nothing. He came from less than nothing. So I love Les. I consider him a friend of mine, and I take a lot of the stuff I talk about from Les, and his style and my style are very similar. I don't really think I planned it that way, but they are. And anyway, there's one of mine.
I love it. What's funny is you think like a lot of the quotes Presley loves, there's some of his own. He's re-quoting some of his favorite people. To me, because I'm in a different generation, they're all just Presley to me. So I like it's really cool because you think like, can I go on and kind of re-quote some of my favorite quotes? Is it going to matter? Yeah, it matters, because for me, I don't even know I know a couple of Les Brown quotes, but a lot of the things Presley says, Presley is one of my mentors and coaches, and today he's one of those individuals, and the same for a lot of people in the community is they don't know, they're not going to go see, well, did somebody else say this? No, it's Presley. It's, there's a value. These guys, they left a legacy, right? And you're continuing their legacy. You've applied a lot of the things they said. And now people see that as, your quotes, which is kind of cool because it just shows you that some of these things that he's talking about, they're just timeless. That's why they worked back then, and that's why they're working now. Something that we actually is kind of funny. My partner and he's heard me edit some of the videos so many times that now, yesterday, he goes, I was upset about something. He goes, well, you either win or you learn. And he said it with a little accent. And I was like, you're exactly right. And these little things stick with me. I mean, even with him, he hears some of these things and he's quoting it now. He's like, well, because they're so timeless. Information is timeless. So you're able to kind of bring to those things. Some of these individuals aren't here anymore. Zig Ziglar, I don't know if Jim Rohn is here, but Zig Ziglar and Les Brown,
gone.
They're all gone. So who's going to continue that legacy? And you're able to bring those quotes back to my generation, and they're timeless. I'll remember some of the things. I'll remember some of your quotes for the rest of my life just because they're so timeless.
Well, back 30 years ago when I started using them, I would always give them credit for it. But now I use so many people's material that I can't even remember where I get most of it.
Yeah.
Every once in a while I'll come up with something original, but most of it is, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown, Tony Robbins. I mean, you just pick up stuff and you think, man, that's a neat little saying. And next thing you know, you're using it and you even forget where it comes from. But, man, I credit all those mentors that I just went over with, with a lot of my success because I watched them, learned from them, got material from them, and I love all of them. They're all amazing.
Well, I got my last person, which is kind of why the school stuff got started. So why we chose this platform is I really love Alex Hormozi. I forget which podcast I heard him on. It might have been Ed Milet. I think it was Ed Milet podcast he did with Alex, and Alex had kind of come up on a few of my Explorer feeds or on Instagram in a TikTok video, but I wasn't really bought in because I'm like, it's just another guy saying the same stuff. But then I heard him on a podcast, and I was like, oh. And then the podcast was actually sent to me, and they were like, I think you will like this guy. He's his platform is kind of helping businesses scale. And I think even the podcast was like how I scaled a business to whatever. I forget what it was. But anyways, so I started listening to him and I was like, oh, this guy he's smart. He's different. And then I thought it was funny. His branding is like, he's got the nose strip and the wife beater. He does not care. You want to talk about somebody that they're consistent, but they don't care about how the way they look. Like I would say Amon is somebody that he likes to look the part. He's got the fancy suit and he's got the lifestyle. Alex is not that way. He shows up no matter where he's at. He's even had some videos he's posted where it's like the video quality is bad, but it's because he doesn't care where he's at or what he's doing. He's consistent. Even his editing is very simple, but it's consistent. A quote that he has said is that I love is, the goal is not to make money. The goal is to build a machine that makes money. And that has always resonated with me since I heard that, because it's like sometimes we can get so focused on the dollar. I just need another dollar. I need more dollars. I need $10,000. I need 100,000. Maybe I need to be a millionaire. When your focus is the money, oh, I just need to do this, and it's just completely focused on the dollar, you're taking away from the purpose of the thing that you need to build to make that money. So something that he teaches about, and even this quote, I think is so important, because it's like, if you're focused on the output and not the machine that actually that generates the revenue, then you're not going to get to where you're going. Like
Say that quote again.
The goal is to not make money. The goal is not to make money. Sorry. The goal is to build a machine that makes money.
Well, and that goes to residual earners.
Exactly. And that's what we teach in the university is you have to, if you want a job, if you want to make money, go make money. There's different ways to make money. You may not make the amount of money that you want to make, but you can make money, and you can actually make good money doing the wrong things. But you don't have a machine. You don't have something that's built to last. We talk about that in the university as well. As I tell everybody, have a brand. I don't care if you're doing whatever you're doing. If you're doing TikTok shop, it is better that you build a brand and be consistent and build a machine than to just build these one-off things that don't have any sort of consistency or purpose. When you're doing TikTok shop, what is your purpose? Your purpose is to make money, but you're going to fall off. You're going to plateau, you're going to stay stagnant, and you're going to fall off. What is the machine that you're building? What are you trying to accomplish? How are you helping people?
Amen. Amen. Well, Alex, I watch him quite often, and you're right. He is a bright guy. So, I talked about Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, and Les Brown, and those are three legends. But believe it or not, I watch all the ones you're talking about too.
Yeah.
Dan Martell is another one I really like. I watch him a lot. The Power of One More by Ed Milet. I love Ed because, again, he's a man of faith, which I really appreciate, and I think he's spot on with his philosophy on life and stuff. So, I may be a little bit older than Reagan, but I like those same people as well. I think when you get a good person that really knows a little bit about life, and they're happy teaching people and helping people, I think it just transcends age. And whether it's Dan, or whether it's Zig Ziglar, or whether it's whoever, it doesn't matter. I think we learn from them, and I'm still trying to learn.
Oh yeah, I think. And what I love about the people that you mentioned is like you can take that motivation, because they're kind of like motivational coaches. You take that and apply the basic principles they're talking about, and then go and have, content creators or whoever, a person that's an expert in the thing that you want to do. You combine all of that, you have a winning strategy, because everything that you say, even down to you either win or you learn. Like, what is that doing? What is that? How powerful is that? Well, it's powerful because my mindset has changed, because instead of getting stuck in my failures, I'm realizing that everything that I've tried to build that has not made it, it's not a failure. It has pushed me to the next thing that I needed to do. I did drop shipping, and even some people were like, oh, yeah, you probably you shouldn't try again, or you shouldn't go into e-commerce because you failed drop shipping. I didn't fail drop shipping. I didn't fail at all. I learned a lot. It didn't grow at the, rate I wanted it to grow, and maybe I didn't become a millionaire, but guess what? All those concepts and everything I learned doing that is why that I should go and try something else. But now I have the recipe. I know what worked and what didn't work, and I'm set up for success. And so these principles and some of these quotes, like, they're really important and they matter, and that's why they're so timeless. And, Presley can requote them, and I can even requote them, and they're going to stick every single time, because you take those concepts and then you bring it into the things that you're trying to build, and will actually help you stay on path.
Absolutely. And we've got a path for people if they want to join a university, and talk a little bit about the university, and then we will wrap up.
So all these quotes and these people that we've talked about, and there's several more. It's funny because our university, any of our members, they already know all this stuff. And it's been really awesome to see people go inside the university with, like, not knowing who's the best coach, who's this expert, what the amount everybody has learned has been awesome, because now even I'm having conversations with the members, and they're like, oh yeah, Alex Hormozy, I just saw him video of him doing this, and I want to try XYZ, or I got this because I saw a video of this person talking about this. So now their world has changed, right? Now all these experts and all these people we talk about, that's kind of the individuals our community members are leaning on, and the way they talk is so different than how they talked when they first came in the community. Even just the community threads, when I go in every day, people are quoting and finding sources, and you don't think, that maybe there was a time maybe early on where we're like, are people learning? Are people really getting the value? Like, it is, we don't have any millionaires from the Residual Earners University, so is this thing working? But guess what? Everybody's mindset has changed in the university. That's the first step. Everybody as a member in our university, they talk different, they walk different from who they were just a few months ago. So the first thing is mindset. Now we have people taking action. We have people starting businesses, leaving their 9-to-5s and drop shipping, building Etsy stores, building a credit repair business, building a mobile grooming dog business. So
life insurance.
The first step is the mindset. The second step is now you got to put things to action, and then you start making money. We have people that are now making money off of the things they learned in the community, which is totally cool. So understand, guys, that you're not going to get into the university and come out 30 days later a millionaire. That's just not how it works. You're going to get into the university, and this is what's going to happen. You're going to get in. You're going to have people that encourage you. You're going to start thinking different. You're going to see some quotes from Presley or myself or other members that are going to get your brain it's going to be rewired to think differently about all kinds of areas in your life. You may start improving your spiritual health. You may start improving your physical health. You may get out of that mentality of I can't. You're going to start thinking I will, and I can. So that's the first step. And then all of a sudden, when you start applying the things, like I promise you, if you apply the things that you're learning in the university, you're going to be able to make money. But you got to start applying it. You got to build it, and then the money will come. And then guess what? We have experts that will tell you what to do with that money. We have wealth management experts that tell you how to save that money and then how to grow that money. We will have information on how you can invest into real estate. We'll have a course soon. So how do I get started and start investing in real estate? We're here for every step of the way, but the first step is you got to get in, and you got to have a mindset shift immediately.
Absolutely, because it's your thoughts that create your actions, and your actions are what create your circumstances. And some of us need that mental enema to get rid of that stinking thinking. I'm telling you right now, we got to get rid of that and start understanding that if we'll change our environment, if we'll change what we put in our brain and the people we run with, we can start having the most massive success you've ever dreamed of. But it takes steps, and that's why I'm always talking about do a vision board, write your goals down, have direction in your life, start reading 10 pages out of a good business book or personal growth book every day, start watching a YouTube guru, personal growth experts, like we just talked about some of them today. If we'll start watching one of those a day and then we start running with winners, if we'll do those 5 little steps, I promise you, your brain is going to be different in a year, and you're going to have so many ideas of things you can do to make money, things you can do to change your life, businesses you can start. It all works together for your success. And I believe with every fiber in me, guys, that you were created in the image of the God that spoke the universe into existence. You got greatness in you. You can do anything you set your mind to. You got untapped potential. You just got to get it out. And that's what I want to do. And, Reagan, I appreciate you greatly. I love today. That was fun.
Today was fun. We had some good episodes.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. Well, guys, I believe with all my heart there'll be 2 groups of us. There's going to be the group that's glad they did, and there's going to be the group that wishes they had. I hope you're in the glad they did category. We will see y'all next week on Residual Earners Podcast.
Thank you.